Sorry. Hey, we are live in the bullpen. This is the Bullpen Podcast. I am your host, Chris Krogman. You can find me on the Twitterverse at ShyBears1985. I am joined by my co-host, Adam Kunos. You can find him at Kunos19, and you can follow the podcast at the Bullpen Pod on Twitter. Also, check out our YouTube channel. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Apple Podcast. We're probably still under the Bullpen Lounge over there because we had to rebrand, but that's okay. We're still fucking 6 months later. We're still talking about that, but hey, whatever. It's a pain in the ass. If y'all ever do your own podcast, make sure you have a multiple verse name for your podcast so that you can move between. So you're mobile. Just a tip, but no big deal. We're off and running. We're sponsored by Fanatics. Head on over to Fanatics and get all of your MLB gear. Hopefully, we'll have some spring training gear soon. Some pre-Mets 2022 championship gear just printed already because that's a given. Let's see what else is going on. We've had a little bit of news here and there. Some interesting news around a controversial pitcher. We did have an unfortunate passing this afternoon in the world of baseball that we'll touch on a little bit. But first off, Adam, how are you, my friend?
I am doing good. I mean, it was a fun past weekend. You had, and this is non-baseball, but you had the NHL All-Star Game, their skills challenge. You had the Pro Bowl. Ironically, they're both in Vegas. So if you were a sports fan in Vegas, that was the place to be this weekend with both All-Star games pretty much back-to-back. So, and that's something that I'm giving a little tease, but I want to talk about the baseball All-Star Game, the MLB All-Star Game. I think it's time for a tweak. So that's a little tease. That's going to come a little down the line. But other than that, I am doing well, Chris. It's another fabulous night here in the Sunshine State. A little bit of a cold spell down here, but I mean, we did dip into the 30s last week. We're into the 40s this week, so kind of have a little bit of a winter chill down here.
Cool. I mean, literally cool. It's been nice here. It was 48 today when I took my son to karate couple hours ago, so that's not bad for early February in Denver, considering a week or two ago it was 2 below. That was not great, but that's good that you're doing well. The NHL All-Star Game was super fun. My wife and I went out to dinner on Friday night. Friday night was the skills competition, right?
Yeah, Friday night was the skills competition.
Yeah, so we're watching that, eating some steak and just watching these guys do just crazy shit with the puck, and the blindfolded 360 goal by that dude was legit. Was it Hughes? Jack Hughes did that? Was that who it was?
It was. I should know this because I'm a Ducks fan. I believe it was Trevor Zagaris, who did the dodgeball impression, but I will get the name for that here shortly because I'm pretty sure if you're a Ducks fan, you're probably screaming your head off right now. Besides the dodgeball one, you had him play blackjack on the strip. You had him shooting pucks in the Bellagio fountain. I mean,
that one was cool. That was really cool.
I always love hardest shot. See how fucking hard they can hit a slap shot. And shout out to the movie Slapshot. Good hockey movie if you haven't seen it.
So I don't know if I've seen Slapshot, but I'll tell you my favorite hockey movie, and it's so random and obscure, and I think it's just because of all the stupidity and hits and stuff, but that movie Goon with Stifler in it, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie cracks me up. Like I turned it on one day and I was like, what the hell is this garbage? And I watched it for a little while and I was like, this movie's hilarious. I'm like, if you haven't seen Goon, it's just funny. Obviously there's not a whole lot of baseball to talk about, so we're just going to shoot the shit about random crap because I'm a little frustrated with this whole lockout situation. So I'd rather talk hockey all-star games and skills competitions and random hockey movies because that shit was funny. Are you sure that it wasn't? Oh God, now I'm gonna forget his last. Charlie Banks that was doing or Adam Banks doing the 360 goal for the old Mighty Ducks.
No, it was Trevor Zegras, and there's a reason behind that. The NHL actually flew him out to Vegas to be in this competition because if you go back about maybe 2 months ago, he did a over the net pass to one of his teammates who kind of did a baseball swing goal, I believe, in New York. So if you YouTube Anaheim Ducks Zegras over the net,
I remember it.
You should see that. It was definitely probably gonna be it should be goal of the year in the NHL because that was just the way he just picked the puck up, flipped it over the net, and perfect pass to goal. He did not even see it coming. I mean,
was it? I thought that was the one. That wasn't the one where he threw it over the goal and it hit the goalie in the back and went in.
No, he threw it over to his teammate. His teammate did like not a high stick, but kind of like picked the stick up and kind of slap shot it.
That's illegal. That's illegal as shit, dude. Just like that's just cheating.
It wasn't high stick, so I'm buying it.
That the goals in the NHL have gotten ridiculous. The guys that are like picking the puck up off the ice and basically just like twirling it around and then just throwing it in like a lacrosse ball. I mean, good God, goalies don't have a chance. But like, man, some of these goalies are also just absolutely ridiculous. So let's get into this lockout talk. So we are week 10. It is February 9th. Pitchers and catchers are typically due to report in 2 weeks, so that's not good. We are pretty much down to the wire. MLB requested the owners and that man fraud guy requested mediation from the government to help. And it's happened before. It's not a first-time request. This has happened in other leagues successfully. So we won't say that it's, completely out of sorts or out of, that it's a first-time thing to happen in sports. But our government's a shit show, and I don't really want them involved in my sports. So I'm gonna say that's a good idea by the players to just say, hey, thanks, but no thanks. So the MLB requested federal mediation for negotiations. Players Association said thanks, but no thanks. We're good. Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh, offered to work with both sides on negotiations. I believe that was also turned down. The Players Association just wants to meet them and the owners or them and the league and knock it out. The current situation, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday, the owners got an offer from the players and got it and rejected it, said that they would counter and didn't, and then asked for a mediator. Look, man, I go like this goes back to like junior high when pure mediation was first introduced to me, and I think I just like the concept. It's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. I think it has its place to have somebody else with a cooler heads prevail, talk through something, but it also kind of annoys me. But what do you think about the whole mediation situation, Adam?
I mean, the fact that it's coming down to the owners asking for help to negotiate a new contract with baseball labor is just ridiculous. I mean, I go back to going into the end of last season, even in middle season, when we knew that the negotiation, the CBA was going to expire, and there were no plans to sit down either during the season, before the 2021 season, or even during the kind of shutdown of when everyone shut down during the pandemic to kind of like say, hey, we have this time, let's talk new labor deal because there are going to be changes made to the sport. This could have been taken care of months, years ago. This could all have been avoidable. This was avoidable from the beginning, but again, this is a lockout. This is not a player strike. The owners have locked the players out, and I think a lot of people need to remember that The players are trying to get back to playing. They're trying to get back to baseball. It's the owners who have locked them out from getting back to the field. It's just getting to a point to where, again, we're talking hockey, we're talking football, basketball, we're talking other sports at the top of the show. And because this baseball news is pretty much on repeat every week, we hear MLB gets an offer, players reject it, players counter offer, MLB rejects it. It's going back and forth right now, and I'm kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's frustrating, and we're gonna see. I mean, we're probably gonna see this drag on at least for another week and a half. Hopefully, you know how a lot of the labor negotiations go is it comes down to the wire, and like we talked about pretty much on the first show back in the new year, that it's both sides just trying to strong arm the other one or stalemate the other one into freaking out and making a decision based on that. And to me, the owners going to the government to ask for help is like, it's like the guy who thinks he's tough in like school or the bar or whatever, but he doesn't actually want to do anything until he sees security. And then he's like, hey, security, and he calls and asks for help. And it's like, or he gets tough when his friends get around. It's like, dude, just like, you're going to have to give up some stuff here. Like, this is your product. It's what makes the money. It's the talent. You're honestly just the facilitator that provides an environment for these guys to play ball. And we've seen what replacement players are and whatnot, and we don't want to head for that situation again because that was gross. So
no, absolutely not.
This is just not a fun time for any baseball fan, us included. We here at the Bullpen Podcast want to see some spring training, man. We want to start to see these guys out on the baseball field, see some prospects that are going to come out this year. That'll be exciting. We want to get these free agents that are still hanging out there. But yeah, I mean, the Players Association thinks that, it was pretty much a PR stunt that the owners just, want. We're asking for help. We really want to get this done. And they really don't, because if they really wanted to get it done, they would, give up more revenue or whatever. So I guess they've also met on some other topics. Namely, I think universal DH is pretty much locked in. That's going to happen. They've met on some other things. What was not shift rule, but I heard of something else. Adam, what do you know? What else they've met on?
I've heard they talked about expanded rosters, about what's the limit for expanded rosters, because it used to be up to 40, then they shrunk it down to, I believe, 27. Expanded rosters have been on the table. Years of service for rookies have been put into play about how much to pay rookies to. Minimum wage has been put in there too for players. So I mean, I think pretty much everything has been thrown on the table during these negotiations. It's just we need both sides to say yes and get this over with.
Yeah. So next week, the MLB has their quarterly owners meeting in Florida, and Adam's going to be there, and he's going to punch Manfred in the face and tell him to get it done.
I will be there, and then I'll probably be asking for bail money on Twitter, so stand by.
Stand by. Please help Adam. No, we won't be there, but we would like to be. And supposedly, Rob Manfred is going to have a press conference. There's also going to be union reps for the players out there. Hopefully they have an in-person meeting. Maybe they can get some good eats and some margarita. Nah, I don't know. What do y'all drink down there, Adam? What's the big cocktail down there in
Cocktail. I mean, I drink rum, tequila. So I mean,
Tourists, bro. What do tourists drink?
tourists.
You're
Whatever.
normal.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say that, but God, Land Shark is a Jimmy Buffett beer. Jimmy Buffett's in Florida, so Land Shark.
Okay, we'll get some Land Shark beers into some union reps and some baseball owners, and let's make some bad decisions, boys, or good decisions for all of us. Let's move it forward because we want something more to talk about than other sports. You're literally having a baseball podcast talk about other sports because you can't get your shit together. Not that we're all that massive, but nobody else is talking baseball right now. I'll tell you that much.
No, and you said a couple key dates. February 26th is when the first full slate of spring training games are supposed to begin. So that's in about 3 weeks. Because camps are supposed to, like you said, open in a couple weeks. But minor league players are still probably going to do their thing, go down to the minor league camps and start their season. So minor league baseball has not been affected by the MLB lockout. They'll still go on. You had the AAA season kind of shortened down to 150 games, I believe. So AAA is going to be a little short this year, which I think is a good thing because you want those players to stay healthy, especially if you call them up for a postseason run. So again, owners, players, if you are listening, and we hope you're listening, please get a deal done.
Yes, please.
Please get a deal.
Okay. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about something else. So, the most controversial pitcher in baseball, for many different reasons, is Trevor Bauer. He won a Cy Young in the shortened season, had a lot of heat around him around the sticky substance situation from the 2020 season, 21 season. And then he got himself into a little bit of trouble with some sexual assault allegations, I guess you can call them at this point, where he claims it was consensual. The young lady says it wasn't. It got rough and so on and so forth. So he will not face criminal charges for his sexual assault accusations. Had 2 separate charges on April 22nd and May 16th. So quite some time ago. 8 months ago. Last pitched June 28th versus the Giants. Got placed on the restricted list on July 2nd. Got recalled on November 3rd, but never played. Can still face suspension once the lockout ends. Do you think Trevor Bauer will be suspended, Adam?
I think he will be suspended. I think that Major League Baseball, once they get back up and running, will suspend Trevor Bauer. I don't know the amount of games. I'll take a random guess. They'll say no less than 10 games for probably a suspension. And this goes all the way back to the MLB and MLBPA and their domestic violence policy that they came out with in August of 2015. We have seen numerous players disciplined by Major League Baseball for domestic violence. Notable Felipe Vasquez, former Pittsburgh Pirates reliever, is on an indefinite suspension. And then last year, Marcelo Ozuna was suspended for domestic violence as well. So
those guys actually had charges, though, right? I mean, especially like Ozuna was charged with family violence and battery, simple assault, but he entered a diversion program and the charges could get dropped. But that was in like September. And he still has to complete the diversion programs within 6 months for those charges to be dropped. So I don't see, he might not play next year, dude.
And this policy, MLB will not look at if you are charged or not. It doesn't matter if you have been charged or you're not charged. They're going to be like, okay, you've been involved in suspected domestic violence. We're going to suspend you for a certain amount of games and require you to do this. So regardless if he is charged or not, which obviously he will not be charged, he will still face punishment by Major League Baseball.
Oof. Oof. I
I mean,
mean, I get it, but there will be a situation where somebody is falsely accused, gets suspended, loses money, and potentially and loses, notoriety, loses, contract negotiation status, things like that. And somebody's going to get falsely accused, and it's going to f somebody up. That's a very slippery slope to be on. The hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. Now I do, I'm on the believe women train. I think that a lot of these guys probably do get out of hand and do some stupid shit, and act like jackasses, but something's gonna happen where that's it. I mean, to me, that's just, I guess MLB is just covering their ass. And I guess, I mean, if the players somehow got to vote on that and okayed it, then it is what it is. So, okay. Bauer's probably going to get suspended. I think that dude's a piece of work anyway. So, whatever.
and
No
there
big
was a
deal.
question that I retweeted on Twitter. If you're a Dodger fan, if the Dodgers do end up bringing it back, how does that look for the Dodgers as a baseball team? Do you think that they'll reevaluate this whole Bauer on a team situation, relook at his contract? I mean, or do they say, "Fuck it, we're going to release you. We'll take the hit cap wise, pay out whatever they're going to do." If he clears everything, does he return to the Dodgers? And if he doesn't, who's going to pick him up, if and when?
So like a couple things. So baseball contracts are fully guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
But there's still got to be some voids in there. Like if you get charged with something, like I don't think Ozuna's getting paid right now. Um,
I don't believe he is either.
So I think that, conduct detrimental to the organization voids the contract, and I don't think they'd have to pay him. If they did bring him back, I think that's a bad look for the Dodgers, especially if, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to face. It's so weird that he's not going to face charges now. Like, just like why, like 8 months later, do we not have more clarity as to what the hell happened?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I mean, this whole thing seemed like it was a mess from when it was first announced. I mean, as we said, he is a very controversial player. I mean, he's been in a lot of different situations regarding sticky substances in baseball, batters tipping off pitches, whatever you can think of. He's probably been in the middle of it, and he's had some bad blood with some teams. I mean, his time with the Indians, he ended his tenure with the Indians. I mean, remember when he got pulled out of a game in Kansas City? Frank Cronin went to get the ball, and he chucked the ball over center field fence because he was frustrated. I mean,
He's the white pitcher version of Joey Bell. But Albert Bell would kick that dude's ass.
So I mean,
Sorry, I don't know why, but I just like thought of Joe Kelly for some reason.
he does kind of have that
They
joke.
both got that swag, that kind of attitude, that like cocky walk, and whatnot. But like, I looked up that Joe Kelly where he's like pouting while he's walking off the field. That dude looks like Mike McDaniels, the new coach of the Dolphins. They could be twins, bro.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Trevor Bauer, we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Like, if I'm a Dodgers fan, I don't want him back. I'm a Mets fan, and dude, we were deep in conversations with Trevor Bauer, and he even tweeted out some stuff where it sounded like he had signed with the Mets, and I think it was down to like 3 or 4 teams. He has a whole branding situation that he has or whatever, and he had his graphics team make up, Trevor Bauer Mets colors, Trevor Bauer Dodgers colors, all this other shit, and they released some stuff that made it look like he had signed with the Mets, and then when he didn't, every Mets fan was like, F Trevor Bauer, including myself, and then all this happened, and every Mets fan was like, ha ha ha, we're not the LOL Mets anymore, we don't get caught up in this bullshit. Thank God for that, and Uncle Stevie and all that shit. But I don't know if he's going to play baseball anymore.
I know it's kind of hard to see if he will ever be on a Major League Baseball team again. I mean, you think about it, stuff like this does follow you. I mean, regardless if you're innocent or guilty, this will always be part of his legacy. This will always be what people probably remember him for, besides probably some unique games that he's pitched in. Um,
It's just one more thing, right? You
yeah,
know,
it's one more thing that's going to follow him.
yeah, it's all the pieces to the puzzle, and it's not a good looking puzzle right now for Trevor Bauer. So maybe it works out. It probably doesn't, but if he's on, I mean, he's an interesting character in that, not only with the sticky substance stuff, but like he actually tried to find other ways to increase spin rate on a ball. He got into a lot of the science of the game, and that's intriguing. So it makes me feel like he's not a an unintelligent human being as far as that kind of thing goes, as far as science goes. Emotional intelligence for Trevor Bauer is bottom feeder level. He is not socially intelligent or emotionally intelligent in my opinion. But I'm just some guy on your Apple podcast or whatever. So don't listen to me. I'm an a-hole.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. That some of his getting into the science of the game. He's probably very intelligent when it comes to like looking at these advanced statistics, looking at increasing spin rate, kind of more the science behind the game, which I appreciate. I appreciate someone who takes that time to learn about the science of the game and how to become a better player and looking at different angles of everything. But I probably won't remember him for that. This going to be this and his controversies that he's been in over the last couple of years. I'll probably remember him for. So I mean, right? I think we can go ahead and say Trevor Bauer. We're just going to move on, and if you come back, maybe we'll see what you do.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So now a little bit of some bummer news. So give us the backstory of Tyler Skaggs, Adam, and how he left us a while ago, year and a half or more ago.
Unfortunately, this was a sad story back in 2019 when Tyler Skaggs was found dead while on a road trip in Texas. Obviously, terrible tragedy that happened. The Angels and Rangers obviously postponed their game that day, and the Angels, I believe, they postponed the rest of the series. And very sad story that he was found dead. There was a lot of mystery about why such a young player was found dead in his hotel room. The Angels return home. They all wear 45 Stag jerseys, and the Angels actually combine a no-hitter on the day that they honor Tyler Staggs at Angels Stadium, which I thought was just absolutely – you couldn't have written a better script for the Angels to honor him than do a combined no-hitter. The video that stands out to me about that is every Angels player after the game takes off their Staggs 45 jersey and they lay it on the mound, and you can actually probably one of the images of 2019 that you remember is all the Angels players that standing around the mound, being with each other. They brought his family out to throw out the first pitch and to honor his family at a game. He had a memorial on the outfield wall, so they did a lot of stuff to honor him. But now we're learning about what led up to it and how there were opioid-related deaths that may have been linked to him, and now the trial for Eric K., who is his ex trainer, I believe, if I'm reading that correctly. So again, this is just a very tragic story going in, and obviously you can, if you're watching this live, you can see the image I'm talking about behind my co-host Chris with all the 45 jerseys on the mound next to the number 45. So
pretty cool stuff, but tragic, obviously. Tragedy often brings really strong responses from teammates and from family and stuff like that. But this is a really cool image to memorialize Tyler. So he how he passed away was he had some fentanyl laced oxycodone that he got from somebody. And go ahead, Adam. I kind of jumped in there. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you're hitting right there. He kind of has some. Unfortunately, it looked like it's a drug overdose by an ex-staffer, by an ex-Angels employee who seems like who played a role in the unfortunate death of Tyler Staggs. And the trial for him began today. It is the both sides of the United States versus Eric Kay, who will see a number of players to receive opioids from Kay in the Los Angeles home clubhouse. So, I mean, this is just more than one player. This is kind of looks like he was just giving drugs out to everyone in the Angels clubhouse, which thank God there weren't any more incidents like this following that it ended, and he's now being brought to a trial to figure out exactly why, and hopefully some charges do come out. But I haven't done that much research, but what I have read is just a terrible tragedy that unfortunately has taken another turn for Tyler Staggs. And I feel for his family right now, who probably will be at the trial and have to just kind of hear everything that he has to say about his thoughts and why he was doing this.
One of the interesting things is that Matt Harvey, current Baltimore Orioles pitcher, I think he's a free agent actually, but he pitched for the Orioles last year, was pitching for the Angels at the time, allegedly gave him something like Percocets or some sort of painkiller, but they're trying to prove that Kay and only Kay provided oxycodone to Skaggs, and we'll see what comes of it. But it's an interesting twist that Matt Harvey was involved. I don't know enough about the whole situation, honestly, to speak intelligently on whether or not I even have an opinion, but we've seen these guys, these side trainers, get involved in bad things happen before. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but it could happen. I mean, it could be K. So, not hopefully, but hopefully for Tyler Skaggs' family, we get some closure, we get some answers out of this trial, but we will keep you up to date on that. So, God bless the Skaggs family, and rest in peace to Tyler. We also received some other rough news today. Jeremy Giambi passed away at 47 years old in his parents' Southern California home. They asked that everyone respect their privacy and kind of, leave it alone. So reading between the lines, it doesn't sound like it was a normal situation, but again, rest in peace, Jeremy Giambi, and God bless his family, and his brother Jason obviously played in the game as well. So hearts, thoughts, prayers with the Skaggs and Giambi family. So enough sad news, but that's the only baseball related stuff we got going on right now, unfortunately. There are some other, like we talked about, minor league baseball's coming up, prospects that we'll talk about in the coming weeks, because it doesn't look like this lockout situation is going to end anytime soon. But Adam talked about this a little bit earlier with the MLB All-Star Game and other All-Star games having the MLB All-Star Game not having a skills challenge. What do they have? They have the Futures Game, right?
They have the Futures Game, the Celebrity Softball Game, and the Home Run Derby. Those are the only three things that you get. And this obviously came when I was actually watching the NHL All-Star Skills Challenge, because I love when players do trick shots. I love seeing players show off their skills. Fastest skate around the ring, hardest slap shot. When you get into basketball, the dunk contest, the three-point shooting contests, just all the creative ways that you can show off your skills. In the Pro Bowl, I remember when the Pro Bowl was down here in Orlando, you had kickers playing tic-tac-toe and field goals. You had them doing like obstacle courses, just some fun things to show off these skills. And what can baseball do to kind of jump in the same boat? What can they add to their All-Star game to make it a little more fun for players. And I have a couple ideas.
Oh, I
that
can't
I'm
wait
gonna
because
throw.
I already got some ideas. Let's go. I got some great
So
ideas. We're gonna have some fun.
the first thing I can, and I told my wife this, and she kind of like jumped on board with this, was accurate throw from the outfield. You see all these nice outfielders who can nail down a runner at home plate. You throw a target up, and you just stand them out in center field, and they have to hit the target. It doesn't matter if it's on a bounce or a fly. Whoever hits the center target wins. You get 3 chances to hit the target. You get maybe 6 of the best outfielders in the game. You throw them in center field, and they get 3 chances to hit the bullseye and the target. That's one idea I have. Next is fastest double play. Who can turn the fastest double play? You get, and you can mix this up. It doesn't have to be on the same team, but you get a second base shortstop if they work together. Who has the quickest hands in baseball? Who can turn the quickest double play? I mean, there's just one thing. And then obviously, I'm thinking you need to do a sprint race, like fastest around the field or fastest 90-yard dash or 90 feet dash down the first base, something like that. Fastest stolen base.
First to third.
There, I like that. First to third.
First to third, first to home, or around the bases, or just a straight dart, 90-yard dash, 90 feet dash. That would be fun. You could also mix in, best throw with like play at the plate. So you got a guy going from first to third, and you got to throw him out from right field or whatever, center field, something like that. That would be fun. You could do like accurate hitting. So you could have different hitting zones where guys can either, pull the ball or slap the ball or, land the ball in certain spots. You could have, pitching accuracy or biggest breaking ball.
And it's funny you do the picking accuracy because NHL does it where they will set up the goal with targets on 4 corners, and they have to hit all 4 bullseyes in the corner. So, I mean, you do something like that for baseball. You put up a little pitching zone. You put 4 bullseyes, and they have to knock, and it's timed, hit all 4 bullseyes, and as fast as time wins.
That dude did it in 10 seconds.
That was crazy. That
was nuts. Crazy. I was like, you can't miss and win. Like once that guy did it, there was no, like, you couldn't miss, and he didn't like take any time in between shots either. It was amazing. Like, you're talking like 2.25 seconds per shot and hit on those 4 corners and being accurate and doing it one time through and on everyone. That was amazing. But yeah, definitely pitching challenge. You have, you could even, you could just set up like hit the dot, hit the, hit this target. You don't even have to have a catcher back there if you didn't want to. Obviously, home run derby already exists. So let's see here. You could do like, I don't know how you would do this, but you could probably set up like a pitching simulator to launch balls to a specific spot and do like a over the wall catch type situation where like you could get it right over the fence, 2 feet over the fence, 3 feet over the fence, like where like you got some Andy Chavez type situation where the dude's just jumping out of the building to catch the ball. There's all kinds of skills like that these guys have. You could do, I was gonna say you could do a bunting challenge, but that's not super cool. That's kind of lame.
Bunting,
but think about like with the shift nowadays, like if I have any amount of speed, all I'm doing is learning how to bunt the other way.
Exactly, especially if you're pulling it to the right, if you're a left-handed hitter and pulling it to the right field the entire time, I would learn, okay, you guys are gonna stand over there. Third base is wide open. I'm gonna lay down, bunt down the line, and be on first
every time. But like the analytics crowd will tell you, well, then you can't hit a 3-run home run. It's like, well, that's fine. I mean, to me, that's fine. I'm like, I used to be a small ball hater, but like guys on base and scoring and getting hits and runs is way more important than just power ball all
the
day
05
long.
White Sox were based on small ball. That team did not hit 200 home runs, but they they relied on more small ball plays. I believe any team that year where they went on situational hitting, they bunted, they ran, they stole bases. They relied more on defense. I mean, there's no dish MLB All-Star game. I still think it's a cool All-Star game to go. I would love to go see a live one year. My brother-in-law, my sister got a chance to go to the Citi Field in 2013 and watch the home run derby. They caught a warm-up ball from Bryce Harper, tried to get him signed, but he didn't. So they called him a jerk, which I completely agree with. So I'm not gonna hit on that. But there's so much that you can fix with MLB's All-Star game because it's now you get an extra day to where it's pretty much a Monday through Thursday deal, and you don't have any games until Friday. You can throw a full day of skills challenges in on that practice day, and not adding like 3 or 4, like make it like a 5 challenge event. Throw in a couple more challenges, make it like 2 or 3 more challenges along with the home run derby, something small. Obviously, you want to look at player safety, player health to make sure no one's going to injure themselves or risk a season due to a challenge, but there's so much more you can add to this that, again, MLB, if you're listening, we just gave you a bunch of ideas.
So you don't want to have like a knock the ball out of the catcher at home plate type challenge?
I mean, if you put a dummy up there, tackling dummy.
How do you know if he knocks the ball out of his hand, though? And then, like, how do we know if it's not just a trick that you did on accident?
I don't know. I mean, you can do like with the hockey pucks. They have lights on now, so when it gets knocked out, changes to a light, changes blue.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's possible. Well, if you have any other ideas, hit us up on Twitter at the Bullpen Pod on the Twitterverse and give us your ideas of what a cool All-Star Skills Challenge would be for baseball. I think we threw out pretty much everything that you could do. Fastest pitch,
pitch, slowest pitch. You can have position players go and see how fast they can throw. Because I'm sure you do fastest pitch, you're going to have a position player going like, I want to do this. I mean, there was a pitcher that wanted to compete in the home run derby, I think, a couple years ago. I can't remember what his name was, but I think a pitcher wanted to compete in the home run derby, which
it was Bartolo Colon. No, I'm just kidding. I doubt it.
Hey, I'm up for a pitcher that wants to, like, you know what? I won't hit a lot of home runs, but let me take part in the home run derby. I will watch that, and I will root for him to win.
Well, Shohei will just win. He's a pitcher.
Yeah, and shout out to Shohei Ohtani making the cover of MLB 21 to show. I mean,
20 is it 21?
22. Sorry, MLB the show 20. I keep forgetting that we're in 2022 already, and we're already a month and a half into the year. Damn it!
I was like, okay, sure. I mean, we're not having a 2022 season, so.
But the thing is, I mean, how cool this can be? You can actually have Shohei versus Shohei matchup. He pitches to himself. Do you think he'll strike out himself, or?
I don't think you could have. I guess you could have that if if 2 teams are playing with the Angels. Do I think he would strike himself out? If you're one controller and I'm another, who knows? It's probably a 50-50.
Yeah. Or they just look at you and go like, nope, not doing it.
Probably not. He's just like, he just walks off the field whenever he faces himself.
Exactly.
Or just skips over that guy.
Automatic walk.
Fastest double play. I think you have to have teammates. I mean, that sounds hard. I was thinking like what you could do from third base. Like you could do like some sort of like throw it from this area to get out this runner, so say you got, I don't know, like Machado versus, oh God, what's that kid's name? Like Wander Franco or something.
Oh, yeah.
And just try and you have to throw them out from like basically like where the foul line meets the grass on the dirt. You got to throw them out from there or whatever. And Machado's going to win that like on almost everybody. That guy's a beast. He's got an outfield arm.
Hands down.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, like we said at the beginning of the show, there is not a whole lot of baseball news, but we hope you have enjoyed the content that we brought you tonight, talking a little baseball, talking a little all-star games in the various sports. The Super Bowl is this weekend, so we cannot not talk about that because for the second time in a row, it is a home game for one of the teams, which is completely crazy. Adam, who do you have in the Super Bowl? And what is if you are a gambling man, what is your favorite prop bet?
I'm actually so with the Super Bowl, I'm actually pulling for Cincinnati. I think they're just a great story coming out of the AFC. I think they've had close games the entire way through from the wild card, divisional, and conference championship. So I'm pulling from Cincinnati. I'm saying who they in the Super Bowl. As for my favorite prop bet, the coin toss. We always at the start of every game we'll be like, okay, heads or tails, and usually my wife will win that bet of the coin toss. I am not good at calling heads or tails for a game, so
it is literally a 50-50 shot.
And I lose 50% of the time, or no, I lose 100% of the time.
So are you allowed to pick, or does she get to pick every time?
Oh no, we'll both pick. So I think last year, we said like, okay, call in the air. So we both called it, and she won. I don't remember what the result was, but
what color Gatorade do you think we're gonna have this year?
Colored Gatorade. I think it's gonna be red Gatorade, regardless of who wins. I think it'll be red Gatorade dumped on the coach.
So according to sources, it's going to be lemon lime. So if you can bet that, do it. Same source called the Habs coach getting fired yesterday before they did it. So,
8 wins and coming off a Stanley Cup final run. Good Lord, that talk about a downfall for that team.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as the Hawks and their bullshit. Anyway, party people, thank you for joining us tonight. We had a great time talking sports. We're just going to turn this into a whatever the heck we want to talk about hour on Wednesday, every other Wednesday. We will talk to you again in a couple weeks. Should be the 23rd of February. So have a good couple of weeks, folks. Have a good weekend. Celebrate Valentine's Day with your significant other next Monday. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know what your coolest prop would be. Adam, anything else for the folks?
No, just enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully you get some good commercials and have a good night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
No good commercials. It's going to be if you don't, like this is going to be the best halftime show to ever exist.
Oh yeah.
Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, I think it's Rihanna. Mary J. Blige. It's gonna be fire as fuck. So watch the Super Bowl, watch the halftime show. I'm on both teams because I gamble intelligently and bet the Rams a long ass time ago and got plus 900 odds. So I was able to hedge for the Cincinnati Bengals and I'll win $50 either way. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Have a good night, guys.